We do have Solicits today, everyone. It is the June Solicits for DC Comics, which we're going to go through. I have not looked at these at all, so this is just going to be a nice journey of discovery, and we'll see how things go here. First up is Batman 161, more of Hush 2, as in the first half of Hush 2, which will be in Batman, but the second half of Hush 2 will not be in Batman, which...
or it will be in Batman, but there'll be a break from the other arc at some point. We don't really know.
We don't really know. We just know it'll be back in some form, and we don't know how they're going to deal with that, because the new Batman run's starting halfway through Hush 2. So they've made it way more complicated and confusing than it should be, and I kind of just stick to the idea that Hush 2 should have always just been its own miniseries separate from the ongoing book to avoid this.
And that's before we start getting to the story implications.
I've not been paying attention to the story implications.
There are story implications?
No, I'm just saying, because like the first Hush is like this, as you start trying to follow things, it starts to get wonky, right? So
it's a very nice way of putting it.
You mean from a reading perspective? I thought you meant like there's something about the storyline you've heard that's problematic.
Yeah, I thought you meant like for what it was going to do for continuity or something.
Fair enough. So that is what it is. Then we have Justice League versus Godzilla versus Kong 2, issue 1. So Ghidorah's on a cover. People, Ghidorah is on a cover. I repeat, we got Ghidorah.
That's Monster Zero.
That's like an American saying speak American instead of English. That's what that sounded like. The thing that was missing from the previous crossover, which was surprisingly fun, slightly underwhelming ending, but otherwise was very fun, was some of the other big notable monsters from the Godzilla universe. So Ghidorah being around is exactly what I'm looking for. So, yeah. I don't know if it'll be an issue 1, because sometimes variants are just, they're a bit cheeky, but I feel like if it's on the covers at all, it will be showing up.
It'll probably be like a last page thing on it.
Yeah. So looking forward to that. Looking forward to each head taking on a different Justice League member.
Or if it's on this cover, man, that's got Task Force X. So I'd like to see, King Shark versus Ghidorah head. I want a kaiju King Shark.
Who knows? You might get it. We got Green Lantern King Kong in the last one, so why not?
Hell yeah, we did.
Yes, we also got the death of Guy Gardner, which is something I'm always for.
But that led to Green Lantern Kong.
I just realized that means that there's no Guy Gardner in this one. He's dead in this universe.
Unless they resurrect him.
It's fine.
He's dead. Next up, we got Superman Unlimited issue 2, Dan Slott's Superman series. For those who have forgotten that he's getting a new Superman ongoing book.
Can't be any worse than the other Superman ongoing book, though, right?
I don't know if that's true. I think it could be worse. I don't think it necessarily will be worse, but it could be worse.
I don't know if I don't think it can be that much worse.
I was gonna say, don't let Josh hear you.
I think it. Like, I hope for the best. Obviously, it's not a name that strikes excitement into my heart by any means, but
all I'm going to say is it's got Albuquerque on art, so I'm going to enjoy reading it more than I will the Williamson book, no matter what.
To be fair, though, I think it was nice that they made a separate ongoing for him rather than, like, give him action and, like, we've our 2 Superman books are this and this. Like, at least, hey, it's another book that if you want to just not read, you can. It's,
Yeah, I mean, I don't really have much going on with action right now either, though, so I wouldn't have been mad if it.
Well, Wade's taken over that after the next Superstars.
Yeah,
thing.
I know. I'm not particularly excited about that either.
I mean, yeah, his 12-issue thing had ups and downs, and was kind of like decent, but not great overall.
I've been very underwhelmed with a lot of Wade's stuff. Like, none of it's been like really terrible.
No.
But there's not been a lot of it that's really excited me either.
Well, I think when he's on, he's on. I think Batman and Robin Year One's fantastic. I think his Shazam was fantastic.
It was good, but I wouldn't say fantastic. I think Batman and Robin Year One's probably his best stuff.
But then you've got like World's Finest right now, which is just kind of there and exists.
And it's Justice League book, which are crossing over, so more on there'll be more just look. Yeah.
Well, I was going to say more on that later because we're talking about that book later, but yeah, sure.
But the fact that they're crossing over is more news rather than what happens in the book this issue.
Yeah, we already knew this. This was announced previously.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm talking about here, and not keeping it for that book discussion. Talking about it in the context of the Waid stuff. Those two books crossing over it's not exactly exciting, is it?
Yeah. Anyway, Superman Limited is coming. I'm curious to check out, if nothing else.
Yeah.
Superman 27 is coming. What more Doomsday stuff? What do we got next? We got Wonder Woman issue 22. Curious to see what the next kind of like not arc, because he's had multiple arcs, but like the next sort of like era of arcs from this Tom King run. Now that the other one's finished. And speaking of such,
I was gonna say Caitlin Yarsky. What is that name familiar? I feel like it is, but I don't know why.
I don't recognize it.
Okay.
I don't recognize it.
Is it just because it's similar to Starsky?
Maybe.
But you're mixing up Yarsky and Zarsky?
I don't think so. I'm gonna look.
We also have Trinity, Daughter of Wonder Woman, issue 1 by Tom King and Belen Ortega. This is a 6-issue miniseries, obviously heavily tied to his Wonder Woman run. Belen Ortega did do some of the art on the backups, if I recall.
Yeah, most of the Trinity backups were her.
Yeah.
So, and those are fun.
Yeah, no. And that was a very different tone to the main stories as well. And if anything, I would expect this to be more similar to the backups, not just because they've got the same artist, but just because, I don't know, the vibe I'm getting from it just seems to fit that. But, so I almost wonder if this was planned as another, like, round of backups, but because they stopped doing the backups and King already had it mapped out, he's like, hey, do you want to just do a miniseries with all this, like, material that I've already got concocted? And, well, you know, here we are. So, should hopefully be entertaining. We have Absolute Batman, issue 9, with a big Bane on the cover.
It's a big boy.
Yes. You think steroids are your ally? You merely adopted the steroids. I was born in them, molded by them.
God.
By the time I saw a protein shake, I was already a man. Well, on you go.
Looks like Hulk Hogan at his absolute worst.
Oh, dear. Very tiny face on him as well. So yeah, Absolute Batman issue 9. We have Absolute Superman issue 8. So that's cool. And we got Absolute Wonder Woman issue 9, naturally, which that's a kind of a cool variant on that book. Kind of a nice quality because of the white background. It almost looks like it could be a part of that All Winter series. The variant to that.
This is where we're at the part where I can't see them now. So I'm just gonna shake my head.
Connor's audio is breaking down. Matt's internet can't load images. Like everything's just falling apart.
I love how Matt's been loading these images for like 20 minutes at this point.
Longer than that. He had the page loading before we started the show.
Yes.
All right. Then we got Absolute Flash issue 4. Obviously, we'll talk about that later because issue 1's this week. Absolute Martian Manhunter issue 4 is also solicited. And that's coming next week, so we'll have some opinions on this pretty soon.
Nice.
Yeah, and then we got Absolute Green Lantern with also a pretty neat main cover there. Curious to see how that shapes up as well. That's coming very soon. Supergirl issue 2, for those who've forgotten. New Supergirl ongoing book starting in May. So issue 2 here by Sophie Campbell. So that's cool. Also, is that more... Yes. Artcharmer's been doing variants for Supergirl since the start of the Rebirth book, pretty much, from what I remember. Yeah. So it's really funny to me that there's been, like, no Supergirl book for a couple of years, and then one starts up, and immediately he's like, hey, I've got some more sexy Supergirl covers for everyone to buy.
Kara's back? Can I do athleisure?
Yeah, she's got, like, a... Not a tracksuit, but, like, a sporty kind of...
pants.
Yeah. Because she's sort of like, you know, it's just that, because normally it's like a button white shirt that they're ripping open, but she's like, no, I've got my sports gear on that I've been training.
Joggers and a hoodie.
Yeah. So, yeah, we got that. Next up, we have Detective Comics 1098. Lee Garbett on art on this issue.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I was enjoying stuff.
Yeah. I really like that variant with Batman and Penguin. That's just it's just a black
really scratchy one.
Yeah.
That's very really shadowy. Nice.
Yeah.
We got so Detective Comics was there. We have Justice League Unlimited issue 8, Mark Waid and Travis Moore.
Why the hell is Electric Superman there? Oh wait, this is part of the thing. I know why. This is the We Are Yesterday.
There you go.
There we go.
This is part 6 of the crossover. I mean, really, it just sounds like it's just an arc of Justice League Unlimited, but he wanted to put it out in like twice the speed. So
I have to say the final line of the solicit just being like, oh, a significant step towards the next major DCU event. Oh, right. So this 6-issue arc is just to set up the next thing.
Yeah.
Like, right.
Well, no. Well, okay. I think you're being a bit cynical here because even the previews for this crossover are saying that it's the next part of DC All In's like overall thing. So I don't think there's anything wrong with this technically leading into the next thing because every DC event always kind of sets up the next one.
All right, fine.
I love how I caught it. I explained it to him, and he just. The best I got was a fine. You're right. I guess.
I don't care enough about this book to argue.
Oh my god.
It's so bland.
We also got the Terrifics there. We got what looks like Flash Year 0, or Year 1, whatever that Williamson story was. We have the Year 0 Batman. That's where I maybe got confused. Big old biceps riding a motorcycle. Yeah. Abin Sur, it looks like. Yeah, Pirate Aquaman.
We got Justice League Atom Project issue 6, so that's wrapping up. Actually, is it? It is. Yeah, it is. It doesn't say final issue, but it does say in the solicit text the finale to it, so it is. They're just being very inconsistent with like saying it the way they used to, annoyingly. We got New History of the DCU, issue 1 by Mark Waid, art by Jerry Ordway and Todd Knapp. This is a 48-page issue 1 of 4. So this is something.
Yeah, this is Waid getting to tell the history of the DC universe the way that he wants it. So, sign me up.
I mean, I feel like...
Isn't that what he's been doing for the last, 3 years?
Yeah, but him actually being able to establish the timeline in that way. This is like when the last time they did this, I feel, was in the back pages of one of the weeklies. Because I remember there was the New History of the DCU that was Donna Troy going through the timeline. I'm trying to remember which one that was. But yeah.
Yeah, so this is just like sort of like... I don't know, just kind of recapping and like clarifying current canon, basically.
Well, it looks like to me.
Well, I can't wait to hear more about this mermaid that Superman kissed once in this. What was a whole chapter on that?
Twice.
12. What a pervert.
And now it's worse because they're both married.
That was me thinking he was a Boy Scout, and he's kissed this mermaid twice.
Look, he has to go question the mermaid. We've been over this.
Aquaman issue 6 is solicited, so we'll see how that turns up. New Gods issue 7, which is a couple of interesting covers here.
I do like it. It looks like Jon Stewart and Mr. Miracle are doing the SOB from Predator.
I feel like they have to be further apart so we can see Mr. Miracle's bicep as well, but I get what you're saying, yes.
Yeah, I feel like, that's the vibe they're going for. If that's the case, it's cool.
Next up, we got Action Comics 1087 by Mark Waid and Skylar Partridge, and we're getting Superboy stuff with young Clark, seemingly, which is not my favorite.
Does Mark Waid do anything in the present at this point? Everything's just, hey, we're at past.
Not this month. From April to June, he's only doing past things.
Okay, we're forgetting about Justice League Unlimited, which is definitely the present day.
But the whole thing about that whole book for the next arc is in the past.
Yeah.
He loves the past. I mean, there's no denying that. Yes, but typically that's set in present day. It feels like he has his likes and his dislikes, and he really loves a lot of this sort of Silver Agey backstory stuff.
This is why I really don't like him being the one spearheading the event, the direction of the universe right now, because he's so nostalgic. I want something a little bit fresh. to come in and do this. Whereas this feels very safe.
Dan Slott's on his way, Connor. You're getting your wish.
Hey, at least it'll be different.
Boy, that is a monkey paw, isn't it?
Yeah.
We got Harley Quinn. This is, I assume, 52. Well, 52. Yeah, everyone cheer for the
What is
DC
with her
number.
new costume? That is weird. Say a trench coat.
It's like she's stolen a pair of Catwoman's boots.
Yeah.
And the mask is. I don't know. I was going to say it's almost like she's assembled an outfit out of like the Gotham City Sirens wardrobe.
Almost, yeah. But mainly just Catwoman's. Like, because I don't see any Ivy here.
Although that last cover,
added some red.
yeah, that last cover where the coat's open, the what's underneath it is really skimpy. Like, is that really what we're doing here?
Probably. It's Harley Quinn.
Yeah, I mean, she's got kind of a top on, but that thing that's on the top, like, looks like something that like a belly dancer would wear or something.
It's
No,
a crop top.
no, not a crop top. The thing on top of the crop top.
Oh, the thing holding like
they're like suspenders.
It's like a suspender with just a little nipple covering. Because at first I didn't even notice the crop top. I just thought it was like bare tits with this little like nipple cover on top.
Oh no, Harley Quinn's wearing pasties.
I know she has some weird skin tone issues in general, but
It was just because
that would be quite drastic.
I agree, right? But it's still very suggestive, just even having these like nipple coverings.
You've seen Harley Quinn in the last decade, right?
It's more. This is more slutty than that. Okay, that's all I'm saying.
All right. I'm not sure it is, but all right.
Look, the Zoomers are out there gunning to this. Okay, they're out there gunning.
You probably are.
Poison Ivy 34, which is still Jill Wilson and Marcia Takara. Catwoman 77, which is Torrin Grunbeck and Danlo Beruth. That's cool. Nightwing.
Those are two names I need Pete to say as much as possible.
Yeah, Nightwing 127 is here. So yeah, it's cool. Still Dan Waters with Dexter Soy. And then we have The Flash issue 22, Bill Spurrier, which I check that every time we do the solicits because I'm like, when someone new's there, I'll be like, oh, time to try Flash again.
No matter what I say, just remind me I said I'm not reading it, no matter how much Eclipso's there. Yeah, I'm expecting y'all to hold me to this.
I'll add it to the list for that week, Matt, because you'll be reading it.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you'll be
No, Ray's dead.
Green Arrow issue 25 is Solicits.
Know what you want about that book? But those are at least two gorgeous covers.
Yeah.
What, on Green Arrow?
Yeah.
Yeah. The one where it's just him on the top of the buildings and it's all sort of black and green with the white background. Yeah.
Those two are like the one below it, the red one, like perfect phone background wallpaper.
Yeah. Green Lantern 24, solicited here, and then obviously right next to that is Green Lantern Corps issue 5. So that is cool. Nice to see our boy Sinestro. I mean, what a cover! Sinestro, Joe Mullen, Guy Garner, and Jessica Cruz. And John's there. I didn't even see John at first because John's kind of faded, like he's a construct or something.
He's like transparent.
Yeah. But yeah, cool. And then we got Crypto, the Last Dog of Krypton, issue 1. Obviously, we talked about this previously because it was announced a little bit in advance.
The only thing that has me interested there is Brian North. His Fantastic Four book, as I've been working through it, is absolutely fantastic. So, who knows?
Yeah, I don't know what to feel about the Crypto book because I'm not super knowledgeable about Ryan North, so it's kind of a blank spot.
I'm here for Crypto because he's a good boy.
There's a Superman-related thing been printed in the title, so Matt's going to read it. What a shock!
Hey, don't let me read Eclipso though, all right? That's what we're doing. Superman, yes. Eclipso, no.
Oh dear, there's a reason why Matt read all of Scott Lobdell's Superman back in the New 52.
I stopped, and then I had to pick it back up once Johns came back 3 months later. It was the most embarrassed I've been going back to a shop. when I'm finally canceling Superman. I can't take it no more. And then he's like, Jeff Johns taking over. And he said, put my name back on the list.
Secret Six issue 4. So that's Solicits.
I read that first issue, and guys, oof.
Nah, yeah, I had no interest in really trying it, to be honest. But Mr. Terrific Year 1 issue 2. So we'll see how that is when it launches. So that's cool. And then we have Batman Superman World's Finest issue 40, which has got Adrian Gutierrez back on the art, because he's actually the artist right now on the book. Well,
I don't know what's going on that cover, but sign me up. It looks like a bat Megazord fighting a kaiju, and Superman looking on with Gotham Tonight. That looks fun.
It's a neat cover. I'll say that. I'm not particularly fond of this take on the Batman Superman like crossover logo that's like in the bat signal, which is basically just a bat logo but with like extended bits kind of making an S.
It almost makes Batman look like a dragon.
It reminds me of the Batman Ninja stuff.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's almost Iron Fist logo.
Kind of is, yeah.
Next up we got Batgirl issue 8, which obviously we've been enjoying very, very much. So looking forward to that. Then we got Titans 24, and it looks like they're doing Terra stuff, I think. Is that Terra?
Yeah.
It
is Terra.
Okay. Sure.
Oh boy.
GSA.
Car's gonna be thrilled.
GSA issue 8, Solicits. And then we got Robin and Batman, Jason Todd, issue 1 by Jeff Lemire and Dustin Nguyen. So is this like a follow-up to the other Batman and Robin book that he did?
It is, yeah.
It must have been, because that was Dick, right?
Yes. So
I'm mixed because Jason Todd, but on the other hand, that first book was actually pretty good.
Mm-hmm. Well, we can pretty much think that we know how it's going to end, right? Like, there's a very important end point.
I don't know if it's going to go that far.
Yeah, it may not
think so?
go up to his ending. It may just be like, you know.
Aww.
I mean, you might get your wish. Maybe we'll get his head bashed in.
I say that now, though. It's just a bit, because I don't hate Jason like I used to. So, you know. That said, this doesn't make me excited.
Batman and Robin 22, Solicits. And speaking of covers, there's one here with I don't know if this might be a specific character or just a monster, but like stepping out of the mirror and like Batman's there and it's all in the darkness. That's a really nice cover.
It looks like Etrigan.
Yeah, it's all Etrigan, but I don't think the face is quite Etrigan though. It's got more of a like a.
It's Etrigan. He's in the Solicit.
Is it Etrigan? The ears look more. I don't know. Like Creature from the Black Lagoon or something.
It's definitely whoever the artist on that is. I can't read the signature.
It's the Fernandez cover. It's the main cover.
Okay. Yeah. So it's definitely Fernandez's version of Etrigan.
Okay.
I'm curious to see Philip Kennedy Johnson making him rhyme. See if we get some good ones.
I got Batman and Robin Year 1, Issue 8. And then there's more Etrigan apparently in Fire and Ice When Hell Freezes Over, Issue 3. Yeah, that's right. They did another Fire and Ice miniseries. It's not even been that long since the last one, but fair enough.
No.
Zatanna, Issue 5, which is the penultimate issue of that, because it's a 6-issue miniseries.
There's some good covers. That card deck one.
Oh, the Zoe Thorough.
They're real good. Yeah, that's a good one.
Then we got Birds of Prey, Issue 22. That's cool. Nice cover there with Barda and Cass.
So I tried to explain the lore behind Barda to my wife on as we were walking the dogs last night, and I can't do it without sounding creepy. So if y'all have pointers, let me know.
No. If anything, Matt, just rub your belly as you're saying it, just to give it some extra creepiness.
There we go. She's big. She's great. Oh, I love Barda so much.
Just imagining Matt slowly rubbing his belly. He's like, yeah, she's great. She's big.
She's big. Carried me like a baby.
Okay,
And it's great because Scott's tiny, right? He gets to be the small one. She gets to be the big spoon. It's kind of everything I want in life. Let's just know, if I had 63 and 2/3 chance of Barney carrying me like a baby, I would take him.
Batman Dark Patterns issue 7. Really creepy variant on that one, actually, that I quite like.
Oof.
Continue with the horror vibes that book's had so far. So that
Case
is cool.
3. So yeah. So it looks like we're doing
3-issue stories, yeah. Which is kind of cool, actually, because a 3-issue arc feels like a good episode of a TV show in length. So I think that's quite neat if he's writing for that sort of format.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is interesting. We didn't really think about it because we weren't really sure if this was an ongoing or not when it first launched, but this is kind of like an extra Batman book that's ongoing on top of the others. So it's kind of, it's in the same way that Superman Unlimited's going to be like Superman's like other ongoing book on top of the usual ones. Obviously, Batman has more books typically anyway, but
I like how this feels a lot more like anthology style, like, because I assume the case would be pretty unrelated.
Yeah, although I think they're all going to have a bit of a, like I say, a horror kind of overtone to them. It's like a bit of a thematic thing.
Yeah, they're going to fly, but different artists, right? Yeah.
So. Yeah, we got DC Pride 2025 special. We talked about this last week. So that's cool. We got Resurrection Man, Quantum Karma issue 3. This is the next Ram V book that's coming. So we're looking forward to trying that, obviously. But we're right at that stage where issue 1's not come out yet. So we're just waiting on the opinions forming. We got Green Lantern Dark issue 5, which it's now telling us is issue 5 of 7. I don't think we knew this was 7 issues yet before. So cool. Because I'll be honest, I assumed it was going to be 4 issues. I think when I read issue 3. So good to know that we're actually only about halfway through. So good. DC versus Vampires World War V issue 10. Solicits.
I forgot this is 12.
No, I knew it was 12, and they even did the same thing where they took a break in the middle for a one shot.
I know, but I forgot. It just doesn't feel like it should.
I guess it sold well enough to justify it, and they did, multiple deceased stories, so why not a second? It just so happens that the vampire one went downhill, so we didn't want to keep reading it. But
that I like that Wildcat cover, but I just feel bad that he's gonna lose so bad. You can't just fend off all the vampires with the bare hands, Ted.
Oh yeah, he's a goner for sure. We got Peacemaker Presents the Vigilante Eagerly Double Feature issue 4. That's just rolls off the tongue, that title.
Yeah.
And then we got DC Cross Sonic the Hedgehog issue 4, which is doing gangbusters.
At least the first issue.
Yeah. Apparently Batman's going to fight Metal Sonic, Super Sonic. I don't know all the Sonic variants.
I don't know the lore, so
yeah, I don't either.
Looks like an evil robot Sonic, though.
Though the variant does have Flash running through what looks like Green Hill Zone, which I guess is a good comparison. But surely Flash is much quicker than Sonic. Sonic's not Flash levels of speed, is he?
I have no idea.
Yeah. I tap Sonic.
Can Sonic tap into the Speed Force? That's the question.
Probably can in this cup.
Yeah.
I don't think he typically does. I think typically he just harnesses the power of the chili dogs that he eats in the morning.
I also get a boost from chili dog gas, so I understand.
Yeah. If you look at him through like a thermal vision camera, you just see like this cloud, like a rocket ship, like behind him. It's invisible to the eye, of course, but there's just this propulsion that's happening behind him.
Invisible to the eye, but not the nose.
Well, that's silent but deadly, Matt. That's what they call it. That. Teen Titans Go issue 4, Solicited. And then we got some facsimile editions, which I will not bore you with actually saying what they all are.
Creeping the Hall of Hush in these facsimile editions.
They might be, I don't know.
I was gonna say they're also putting out Batman Ghosts, which is cool. Because I don't have that. It was what started the Long Halloween, right?
Yeah, it's one of the 3 specials. Yeah, I assume they're putting all 3 of them out in facsimile.
Yep, Madness.
Yeah.
But
looking at the collections quickly, we have Absolute Death of Superman, which, yeah, fair enough. That's weird to me though, because I feel like it's only a third of the story. And maybe they'll do Absolute World without a Superman and whatnot, but I don't think they will. So I think I'd recommend the Omnibus, which comes with all the stories that came out of the death as well. But obviously it's a big title, sells well usually, so I get why they're doing it. But yeah.
So it says this edition is housed in a resealable black polybag, which is cool, which is like the Superman 75. But it says for the direct market edition, it will be held within Superman's tombstone, a recreation of the famous cover with an openable hatch to bury the book. So that's kind of cool. I've never seen them do anything like that with the Absolute.
They're getting gimmicky with it.
Yeah.
Also worth noting that version is more expensive as well.
Yes.
I'd expect so, because the packaging sounds a lot more...
Yeah, $25 difference. So...
Yeah, I'd recommend the Omnibus over the Absolute, but hey, if you want the gimmicky packaging, go knock yourself out. Yeah. Nubia 2 Real, this is a original graphic novel, by the looks of it. So, that's cool. We have Teen Titans Robin Connecting cover edition.
So I think it's just Teen Titans Robin, the connecting cover edition.
Okay, right, okay. I assume...
So it'll connect with the other ones Cammy Garcia's done, right?
Right,
Beast Boy,
okay,
Starfire,
yes.
Raven.
I read connecting as part of the title, not like just a descriptor of what the thing is. Absolute Batman Volume 1 The Zoo, both the soft cover and the hardcover solicited together here, which is cool to see. Same for Absolute Superman Volume 1, which is issues 1 to 6. I assume Batman's also 1 to 6 it is.
Unusual for them.
What?
To look at both versions at the same time.
Oh no, they've been doing that for months now.
Have they?
For a lot of it. Yeah, I would say for the last 6 months at least they've been doing this for a lot of the collections.
So Batman and Superman are both 1 of 6, but Wonder Woman's 1 to 7.
Do you think that after there's 12 issues, they'll just start lumping them into the compact? Fine.
They might, yeah. I mean, if they're determined to...
people.
Yeah, if they were determined to get things out on the shelf quicker, which they seem to be based on this, then yeah, that would make sense. Justice League Unlimited Volume 1, also both softcover and hardcover solicited. So that's cool. We got The New Gods Volume 1. That's also getting a hardcover, which is cool. Because that was one of those books where it might not, because it's a bit more niche. So it's nice to see that it's getting the same treatment. So that's issues 1 to 6 of that. Harley Quinn Volume 1, Destructive Comics. Honestly, having an arc from her called Destructive Comics is quite funny, so I appreciate the point. So obviously that's the newer run being collected. Just soft cover for that one. Green Lantern Volume 4, Civil Core collection, which is just soft cover. Which has a couple of the specials, as well as 16 to 18 of the main book, which doesn't sound like a lot, but with those specials, page counts, it does actually add up to about a normalish enough size. DC Horror Presents Creature Commandos collection. We got DC's Finest, Justice League of America, The Return. We got DC's Finest, Blue Beetle. Blue Beetle challenges the Red Knight. And then we got DC, The New Frontier, DC Compact Edition. And then we got Batman Superman World's Finest, Volume 7, Total Eclipso. Which, isn't that a Bonnie Tyler song?
Close.
It was a joke, man. I was trying to be funny. The Total Eclipse of the Heart, which is what Matt feels every time Eclipse was in a book and he ends up buying it and reading it.
And sadness. Lots of sadness.
Yeah, which is why he's going to be reading Flash over the next couple of weeks.
I'm not going to... you guys aren't going to let me because you're my friends.
Buy Flash, Matt.
No.
Do it.
This is probably more likely to stop.
Oh, dear. So yeah, that's getting softcover and hardcover. And we got Batman by Tom King, Book 2. This is your sort of thicker, double-sized, well, even more than double-sized. It's like 500 pages. So this is, a big hefty chunk. That's
the quad trade version, I think.
Yeah, 4 trades maybe sounds about right. Yeah, because it's about the size of 2 deluxes, right, in terms of page count. So, yeah. 4 trades. Yeah, 21 to 40, a couple of Flash issues for the crossover and the annual. So the next one, book 3, would be going through the wedding, presumably. In fact, I might only just go up to the wedding if they include all those tie-in one-shots they did for it, which they may... Which would suck because they're a waste of time, but for completion's sake, I get why they might.
What was the Nightwing 5 and 6 back then?
Why?
Because that's you're talking about the Batman omnibus, right?
No, that was Batman by Tom King, book 2.
Yeah,
The
right.
omnibus is in it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
No, Nightwing,
bad.
that was the Monster Men crossover at the start of Rebirth.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah, I remember
So
that.
when you were talking about it, there's a lot that was also listed. So I thought that's the one we were talking about.
Yeah, that's next. Yeah, Batman by Tom King Omnibus Volume 1, which, funnily enough, goes up further than that book 2 paperback. It goes all the way up to issue 32 of Batman, plus has any relevant tie-in issues from other stuff. So 1,000 pages.
That's not as far.
Sorry?
Yeah, the paperback's still further ahead. That goes up to Batman 40.
Oh, you're right. For some reason, I think I was thinking it ended at 20 for some reason. But yeah, obviously it's much bigger though than one of those volumes because it's gone up to about halfway through that second paperback. It's kind of wild though. We're at the point now we're getting omnibuses for Rebirth runs because that's where we started the show. So just let that sink in.
450 episodes ago.
Yeah, when you put it like that, I can't argue. Batgirl Stephanie Brown Volume 2 new printing. So this is the second half of the run. They did like 2 thick trades a few years ago and they've reprinted. Well, I assume they reprinted the first one recently, and this is the reprint of Volume 2. Good to see that stay in print because I remember it being out of print for a long time from the original trades back in the day. Then we got Batman Detective Comics by Mariko Tamaki Omnibus. Interesting. Yep. So that'll have all of the Tower, obviously, as you expect. Also has some one-shots, and it also has Future State Dark Detective 1-4. So it's basically got a lot of...
That day.
Yeah, it's got like a lot of like one-off issues she did, or one-off stories and like anthologies she did to kind of make it up to an omnibus, which is maybe pushing it a little bit, but I mean, I like the Tower. It was a good fun story, so... Yeah. Admittedly, a nice deluxe of just the Tower would probably do. Although that said, though, she did do that one little arc after the Tower.
With the Riddler, right?
Yeah, but it was co-written, admittedly. It wasn't just her, but
yeah.
Presumably that's in here as well. Plus, there was some stories before the Tower now I'm thinking about it, so I guess there is enough material to do it. But that's not even an early Rebirth run that's getting an omnibus. That's, like post-Tynan.
Yeah,
that's kind of wild. Batman Nightfall Omnibus Volume 3 Nightsend, new printing. So, yeah, that's just staying in print. Batman Brave and the Bold Legends of Justice. What the hell is this?
This was the anthology book.
Oh,
this is where.
Oh, I see. Yeah. Oh, I see. But it won't be all of it though, because it'll be skipping the Tom King story, assuming it's even collecting some stuff.
Like the whole description's going on about Gotham Academy.
Yeah, so similarly, this was a story or a couple of stories that were in that book later on. I forgot that anthology book existed. That's not still going anymore, is it?
I don't think so.
Yeah, that finished. Yeah. Batman Year 3, the deluxe edition, by Marv Wolfman and Pat. I have never heard of there being a Year 3. This is genuinely news to me that there's a Batman Year 3 story. I'm not surprised, but I didn't know it existed.
Like Batman 436 to 439.
Yeah, so it's 3-4 issues.
Yeah, it's not super long. It's only 112 pages.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I never knew the story existed either. I was like, it's a retelling of Dick Grayson's adoption.
Yeah, so that's interesting if we still go by that Batman was only on his own for 2 years before Robin came into the picture. That's interesting. Interesting to think about it. Creature Commandos presents Frankenstein Agent of Shade, Book 2 by Jeff Lemire and Matt Kint. So, yep, collecting that series.
Good book.
Terrifics The Complete Collection, hardcover, all 760 pages of the entire thing. So which is
Very
basically an
cool.
omnibus. They're just not calling it that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I
don't
guess
know why they want.
I guess it won't be deluxe size, page size wise, but other than that, it's basically an omnibus. So.
That's true. It's a bit smaller in terms of the page trim.
Yeah. So, but it's as thick as a sort of medium to small omnibus. And then we got Wonder Woman by Phil Jimenez omnibus new printing. So that's been reprinted. Justice League International Book 2 Around the World new printing. Collecting that run. Red Hood Outlaws Volume 4. One of Connor's favorite series of all time.
Connor, what was this one like? Oh, never mind. It's
Did
from the
I read this?
webtoons.
No, I don't recognize this at all.
No, you
It's
don't?
the
Maybe I
webtoons.
just blanked it, but that's not me this time.
All right, cool. So that's like a web series that's a collecting.
Yeah.
Oh, you said? Yeah, webtoons. So then we got Action Comics by Dan Jurgens Omnibus Volume 1, so another Rebirth Omnibus. This is 850 pages of, I assume, the first half of his run. So this will be all the stuff with Mr. Oz and, like, who's the second Clark Kent and all that, presumably.
Yeah, also Action Comics, the big run, the Convergence story, where John was born. Justice League 52, Superman, yeah, so a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Lois and Clark 1 through 8, yeah. It's kind of a mix.
Yeah. Yeah, Lois and Clark, that was a series before Rebirth started. I was saying, why is that here? But that was before Rebirth, so that makes sense.
So it should, I think, go Convergence, Justice League
Superman.
52, and then Lois and Clark.
Well, most of Lois and Clark would have been out by Justice League 52, but, I mean, chronologically wise, it might come first.
Yeah. And then you'll have DC Universe Rebirth pages that it says there, Rebirth 1, and then the run. And Superman 1819, that'll be Superman Reborn?
Yes.
That'll be the crossover for that, yeah.
Yeah, that was when they revealed who the fake Clark was, or the second Clark was.
Yeah.
And all that stuff. So, yeah, cool. They see everything getting the omnibus treatment. Superman City of Tomorrow Compendium. That's a 1,000-page softcover, which I do think the compendiums are a bit silly because, you know, you kind of need a hardcover for a book that thick. But
Yeah, they sell really well. Like, I don't, not specific to the DC ones, but in general, like, because there's all the common, so like Walking Dead, Invincible, Saga's been doing them recently, and they tend to sell really well.
I think the value per comic issue is relatively quite good, which is why I just don't think it's a very appealing format to me. But
I think, I don't know how like these ones sell as well, because I think they're very appealing to people just getting into comics and like just want to like try a series without. But the people who care about reading it, like the art and stuff, are probably not reading those editions because the gutter loss is horrible.
yes.
But something like this, like, are there any casuals walking into a bookstore and seeing this and going, "Oh yeah, that's what I want"?
Next up, we got Swamp Thing by Rick Veitch, Book 2, Synchronicity. Can't say I'm familiar with this run, but it's been printed. This is probably something that's not been reprinted a lot, so it's probably a good thing that it's been printed, regardless of how good or whatever it is.
It's the landmark crossover as it was meant to be read, with the interweaving narrative between Swamp Thing and Hellblazer restored.
So this is the run that came after Alan Moore, I assume, just based on the numbers of the issues.
Must have, yeah.
Yeah. And that's the last thing in the Solicits. We made it. It's over. Hurrah!
That's it.
Yeah, excitement. Fairly uneventful. Wasn't a lot of new stuff in this one, Solicits, but hey, some nice covers. A couple things going on.